So, this is yet another thing that I wanted to do after the Jade update. I wanted to take Amprex's Infestate, a single target focused cousin, and see if I could make it do some AoE. Because the Synapse, which is the weapon we're talking about today, is actually very strong. It's one of the best single target weapons in the game. It's ridiculously strong, but its problem is that, well, it's a single target weapon in a game where you're constantly swarmed by hundreds of enemies. Now, the blueprint for the Synapse is available from the Infestate or Biolab in the dojo, and it's unfortunately one of the few weapons that costs 2 format to build, which, I really think they should bump it down to 1. But anyway, let's give it a shot and see if we can make it do some AoE. Shall we? I hope we can make this work. Like, it shouldn't be that difficult, right? The Synapse is really strong, so we can shave off a little bit of that single target and focus it more on AoE. Should be fine. I'm gonna start off with Merciless so I don't have to go for headshots, though it does feel extraordinarily dumb on the Synapse. Galvanized Chamber and Aptitude. I'm not sure I want to go for Scope just yet. Well, we definitely want to go with Blast, so let's get that in there. We could go with Gas as well, I suppose. We could go with Stormbringer, Blast, Corrosive, and Electricity. That's saucy. Status chance is a bit low though. I think we're better off with High Voltage. Next on the menu, we have Crit, and I think we're gonna go with Crit Delay. We lose a bit of Fire Rate, but I think it's gonna be fine. Vital Sense. Elementalist is a must here because we're using Blast and Electricity, though Hunter Munitions would be nice as well. Maybe instead of Electricity, we have the capacity, so we might as well run Sinister Reach. Yes, a bigger beam. Look at my beam, bro. So big. Let's be reasonable here. Ugh, the ramp up is not terrific. It works. It is more cumbersome than I thought it was gonna be, though. I'm not digging this at all. Yeah. Deadhead it is. The headshot multiplier is really nice and it's easier to stack as well. See, that's much better. Oh yes, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I really don't think we have enough status chance for 3 separate elements. First, let's try getting rid of Blast and just run Electricity. Hunter Munitions. Yep. Galvanized Scope, a faux show. Let's reformat this V into a D. And whoopam, there we go. We are on the right track, which is not surprising in the slightest. We're finally taking advantage of the humongous crit stats on the Synapse. This is good, but it's not doing what I wanted to do. Blast. The Electricity was nice, but I want Boom. I can already see the blasts pop in. There, oh, that was a nice one. Yes, this is what I wanted. I was a little bit worried about the single target, but yeah, look at that. That is ridiculously strong. Good stuff, my dudes and dudettes. I might as well add Harold into the mix. Time for some fun stuff. Hello, bad guys. I am loving this. Feels super duper nice. Tons of AoE, more than I expected actually. It's kind of like Combustion Beam, but good. Ooh, what if Combustion Beam was good? Now that's a good title. Lovely stuff. I am very pleasantly surprised. Like, I knew it was gonna add some AoE, but this genuinely feels like Combustion Beam in a low-level mission. It's terrific. Oh, shield boys. Guess who's back? Funnily enough, this feels less stupid against the Corpus than some of the other builds that we've done recently, but it's still really, really strong. I think it's at least partially due to Moas and Ospreys being a little bit more difficult to headshot sometimes. Single target still top notch. This is the benefit of doing this on something like the Synapse, which is just a ridiculously strong single target weapon. Where you going, Melis? My dude. What the f was that? I have never seen Melis do that. What? It's like he one-shot my ass with a bloody finisher. So, here's the final build for the Synapse. We have Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, Galvanized Scope for a ton of crit chance, then Thermite rounds and Rhyme rounds for blast damage and status chance, Rifle Elementalist for status damage, Vital Sense for crit damage, Galvanized Aptitude for status chance and Condition Overload, and then Crit Delay for even more crit chance. We do lose some fire rate this way, but it's not that big of a deal. The single target is still really nice, so losing a bit of fire rate is not a big deal. Also, we do get some nice punch through from Rifle Elementalist, which adds to the AoE when combined with Blast, which is also super duper nice. Now, you don't necessarily have to invest an exhaust adapter into this, because we're just running Sinister Reach, but it feels really nice to have the extra range, so So if you're going to invest into this weapon and you're going to go for a big build like this, I would recommend you invest the Exilus adapter in there and run Sinister Reach. And finally for the Arcane we have Primary Deadhead. It's really easy to stack, we're going for headshots anyway because of Galvanized Scope, and the extra headshot multiplier adds a ton of extra damage. On top of all of that, I would recommend you run Emerald Archon charts for more maximum corrosive procs, or use the weapon on Hydroid so you can strip the enemy armor completely with corrosion alone. This isn't mandatory, the weapon is going to be just fine without them, but it does help quite a bit against armored units. And finally, since the weapon doesn't provide its own vital damage and it utilizes Condition Overload for damage scaling, having a priming pet that primes vital plus some additional status effects is a very easy way to get a ton of extra damage. This is one of the things that I absolutely love about the new Blast. It allows single target weapons to finally do some decent AoE. It actually makes the Synapse feel pretty great even in today's meta where AoE weapons are king, because thanks to all the new stuff like Elementalist and Canonade and Influence and all that, a good number of AoE weapons can do comparable single targets to single target weapons, so it's only fair that single target weapons can also do some AoE if you build them for it. So would I recommend you give this a shot, yes or no? Well, yes, if you have the forma for it, because you need 2 forma just to build the weapon and then a bunch of additional format to get the build rolling, and it's not a cheap build by any means. So do give it a shot if you're a forma-rich dude or dudette. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.